So here we have another page of Kavanos. And for those of you who are like this, certainly should let me know. I'm trying to figure out what people can work with. These are Kavanos which you're looking at. The question is, can you zero in on them to be able to see what they're actually doing? Now, I understand this, but this is me, and I'm really pitifully low in being able to understand where the origins of all of this fantastic array of letters comes from. I really don't know exactly how, but I do know that the letters are holders of light. And we've talked about light before, and just give me 1 second. Okay, I don't think I have my drawings handy. 1 minute. Okay, so I found, trying to get this organized, the first drawing that I want to show you, which is the word that we call, is really a made-up word. It's called Kol Soma. Kol Soma, the way we read Hebrew is from the right to the left, but be able to understand what Kol Soma is, you really need to understand it from the left to the right. And the reason why is because the aleph at the end of this letter really refers to or, light. So what light are we talking about? With light, refracted light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. Now this light is then surrounded, moving one to the right, by the concept of mochi, which is surrounded by the concept of slomim, which is surrounded by the concept of lavushim, and then finally the light and all of the clothing that it has fits into kalim. This is a concept that's really, really important to be able to understand what happens when you look at the Rashash. Now, this is, of course, Shar HaKavanos, and tonight is the first night of Hanukkah. So I want to continue on. I know this is a little bit bold, and, I'm not the world's greatest scholar either. But there's some things, plain things that we could see here that just give us an inkling. If you can save this or print it in some way, then you could have this Kavanah at nighttime. So let's go over. I do want to look at this Kavanah. And either we'll look at it today if we have time, or we'll look at it another time. The first thing that I wanted to do is focus on the word ner, which is composed of these shiluvim. Now remember, the shiluv is a concept of matching different names of Hashem together. Imagine light flowing through these letters. Now, that's the best I can do. So the first one, if you look at it, it is every other letter is going to spell the simple name Ekya. And then next to that, Ekya is going to start with Yud. It's going to spell the name Yud K Vav K, and they are interspersed. Now you have the same thing with and I just want to keep going over this because actually it's a meditation. I want to know what ner is, what light, the real light is. It's this. And the reason why is because, as we're going to see, there comes out the gematria of 250, which is the gematria of ner. So this is a hidden relationship between them. The next one is Havaya Elokim. It starts with a Yud, and then you start doing Elokim. Then the next one is Havaya Adni, and you put them all together. You see the same way. You look at it, pick out the letters, go over them. A lot of this, what I'm doing right now, I don't know, is looking at the letters. Just trying to zero in on them and be able to see them. Now, I want to go back and I want to show you what we saw the last time. This is a little more complicated. This is also ner, but instead of the letter Yud, he spells it out. Yud Vav Dalet spells Yud. And then you have the interspersing again of the letters. Remember this? Okay, so then the next one is going to be Ekya, right? But he spells it out. Aleph, Lamed, Fe. Then you skip a letter, you go K Yud. Skip a letter, you go Yud Vav Dalet. Skip a letter, you go K Yud. Okay, and that's another way, another Kavanah you can concentrate on when you say the word ner. This is what Kabbalists do. They say the word ner, and all of this flows out of it. Then as you see, though, let's just look at the second one. The second one, and so the first one would be called the Milui of Havaya, of Yudin, and then the Milui of Ekya of Yudin. But the second one, which is Havaya Elokim, The Elohim, it does not have a midui. It's just a regular Elohim. Same thing is true of the third one. So why it is, I don't know. The thing to do with these is to look at them. Try to figure them out. You don't have to get it all in 1 second. Okay, now let's see if there's someplace else I can go over here that I wanted to show. Okay, this is once again a review, getting ready for tonight. When you say Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Lahadlik, this is the Kavanah for Lahadlik. If you take these 3 names of Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei spelled with Miluyim, they add up to the gematria of Lahadlik. So this is another idea. When you say that word, these are the lights that are coming through it. Okay, now we're going to go a very brief look at this one. And we had some words on this one if we could find it. Now, the Rav says, and I heard, anyway, I'm not going to say what I heard today, the Lahadlik Ner Chanukah. And the Ari says that you don't say the Lahadlik Ner Shel Chanukah. I don't know what the Sfardim do. I know that the Ashkenaz definitely do say Lahadlik Ner Shel Chanukah. But there's a reason why the Rav says that it doesn't belong there. And that's because he can take the first letters of these names and bring a concept to us. Because what we're trying to do here is bring light from a higher place. This is a light, really, I think, strongly of consciousness. The light of the reality of it, that Hashem is reality. So that's the light we look for on Hanukkah. And it says, Lahadlik Ner Chanukah. If you take those letters, you have to switch them around a little bit. They make the word Nachal. So now we have this idea. Lahadlik Ner Chanukah is to create a Nachal. And I hope that I get a chance to just go over this drawing down below so you can get a little bit of an idea of some other, the Rashash. Okay? Then here we have another way of looking at Nachal. I'm not going into it today. Then we're going back to say that Lahadlik Ner Chanukah. Right? Here's Lahadlik, just like we saw before. Here's another version of Ner. And over here we come, and I said we'll look at the bottom part. This is another way to spell 250, which is the gematria of Ner. Now let me look, as we finish up today, let me look at this a little bit more, because I am interested in putting some of the formations of the Rashash. The Rashash is really illustrating a great deal, and sometimes in just tremendous, unbelievable depth, what the Rav is saying in Shar Kavanos. So just looking at this, let me see that's not where I wanted to be. I wanted to be over here. Lahadlik Ner Chanukah. That's where they have the Nachal. So Nachal is idea. We have oil, we have light, and what we're looking for is the flow of the light. Go back. Let's go back. What did I do with this thing? Let's go back when we understand light, although it doesn't always appear and this is also a drawing of light. This is another way to look at light. Here is a way to look at light in its garments, as it is clothed. Because only when it's clothed is it possible to be actually, because the clothing limits the light, filters the light. This is the light itself. So let me just show you something Rabbi Mimran showed me very quickly, and I'm going to go into all of the words here. May be able to do it at another time. But these, what you see here are oros, are lights. Remember, they're drawing again, lights. These are the lights themselves that are flowing from the Hadlik Ner Chanukah. And the way that we say it like this is that the Akyas represents the Makif, because there's 2 different kinds of lights. There's a Or Makif and an Or Panimi. And the Chavaya represents the Or Panimi. So now, as you look at it, it is going down. This is Avaya, an Akya and Avaya, which are all menukad with a komets. But as you go down, they start to change. So here we have a Patach, which goes with Chochmah. We have a Tzeri, which goes with Bina. And then we go down the right line. I guess it keeps going on like that. This is middle line stuff. And we'll get to more of this later as we start to look at it. Just get an idea that it's a summation of this. Is a flow. Chanukah is a flow from up above to down below of the light of consciousness, of the reality, which is Yud-Keh Vav-Keh. This is what the lights look like. We're going to get into it more, and I'll have a little bit better chance to bring some actual words of the Rav. This is Baruch Fleischman for the Tikkun Elevator Kollel.